Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon from AdvanceNoob, bringing you another live league game of the day. Today, we are on Unlearn How to Fly. This is a standard matchup with triple base, airport, and comm towers. This map has a little bit of a cool dynamic to it because the airports are a little bit difficult to get to. So maybe that's going to play a factor later on in the game. But we have the Red James and AdvanceNoob today. These are for the overall wins in Live League. They are the #1 and #2 player respectively. So they are battling it out to try to get that #1 spot. Currently, AdvanceNoob has the #1 spot for overall wins, but Red James is very, very close behind. I think like less than 10 wins away. So will we be seeing a new #1 on that leaderboard pretty soon? I don't know, folks. We're gonna wait and we're gonna see. But today we have a Von Bolt mirror. So the Von Bolt mirror, the classic Von Bolt mirror in standard, it is something very annoying to play against and play in general. Yeah, it's interesting. So Von Bolt as a CO will get plus 10% offense and defense on all of his units. He does not have access to a co-power, but he does have a super co-power, X Machina, which will fire a missile, an area 3 missile, that will do 3 damage to anything it hits and also stun those units. Now, there has been a little bit of a change to Von Bolt recently, where his missile will actually stun your own units as well if they are in that vicinity where the missile strikes. So, we're going to see if this will play a factor as well. You know, without further ado, folks, I think we are just going to get into this one and see what went down. We are facing right and we are facing left. Sounds good. Okay, first couple days, folks, you guys know the dealio. It is the standard infantry builds because you got to get the infantry on the field. #1 priority in Advanced Wars by web. All right. So this is a very, very, very common thing to do, and you see it a lot. I would say a lot around like at least like the maybe like the 1,000 live league rating or so and up is putting your infantry right here because you can threaten the cap right here or you can threaten the airport cap. Now most of the time, I'd say at least like 4 times out of 5 the players are going to go for the airport first, unless the opposing player does not have something to interrupt this property grab. If they don't have something to interrupt that property grab, they could potentially go for this property, or they could potentially go for this property here. But like I said, 4 times out of 5, they are going to be going for this property right here, the airport. You want to be getting that airport quickly, because your air units can get denied incredibly quick on this map by an early anti-air build. And there's also the option of building a missile. And if you build a missile and put it like right here or here, you lock that airport and your opponent cannot build any air units at all. Now that's not something that you see often, but I have seen it once, and it was me that built the missile, and it sat right there, right here, and locked this airport. Did it destroy any air units? No, but the threat was there, folks. The threat was there. Alrighty, so carrying on. Let's go ahead here. So AdvanceNoob is going to be pushing the tank up and grabbing the airport. So, ooh, interesting. Red James doesn't go for the airport. He actually goes for this property right here, which is actually not that bad of an idea, all things considered, because the tank is pushing up. You would not be able to grab this property once the tank gets here. This tank is not in position to reinforce this side yet, so by grabbing that property now, then you get the property, and you will most likely still be able to acquire the airport, but it might be a little bit more difficult to build air units at that point. But doing it this way does secure you the property and give you that little foothold over here, because it is really nice to have this property and like plant a tank on it and ward away any potential tank strikes from your opponent. So this is good placement right here. Indeed, good placement. So Like, AdvanceNoob does not have this property, right? So this infantry is going to go here. This infantry is going to go here. The tank is going to go right here. And if the tank goes here, which it definitely will, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 squares to actually interrupt this, which is huge. Which is huge because he's not going to be able to cap that property without any significant reinforcement over here. And Red James already pushed into the middle. I mean, AdvanceNoob is going to be able to push into the middle right here and start capping this property as well. So there's not really much difference there. But this tank is also not going to be able to push out at the moment. Now, it could potentially go here and take a strike against this this tank. Highly unadvisable to do that because this is a 140% defense versus 110% defense and 10% offense, which would net you either equal or possibly even negative results. So I probably would not suggest to go for that. Maybe if you had the comm tower captured, it might be possible to go in for it, but then you also run the risk of having your tank get locked, which would be very bad because infantry goes here, you lock the tank in, you build another tank, and then that tank right there is guaranteed destroyed. So good on AdvanceNoob for not going for that. And plus center control is really, really big for this map as well. Like if you control the center, then your army can shift either left or right depending, right? So highly advisable to get that center. It is AdvanceNoob's turn right now, so we are capping a few more properties, and interesting. Okay, so we forego the capture on the comm tower, which is fine. No, it's actually a really good idea to forego the capture on the comm tower because you don't really need it at the moment. I mean, you probably are not going to be seeing any tank strikes or any meaningful combat at the moment, and you do need this property, and you're going to cap it next turn anyways. So I don't really see anywhere where this tank can go where it be able to do like a meaningful attack at the moment. It can't actually reach this tank. This tank could potentially hit this tank. So what we might see, and it's entirely possible, so we might see this tank switch over here, this tank go and take a shot, forcing the tank to retreat, and then these tanks gang up on this tank the next turn and actually take it out before a tank is able to reinforce. So that's a possibility. But then you leave this side open. So it's debatable. Yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. That is not bad. Plus we built battlecopter over here actually, so that's that secures this part for now. And yeah, that's what I mean about taking these attacks, right? So Von Bolt on a city, that's an even trade, unfortunately. So if he was to go up and take the trade like a day earlier over here, you would have been in this situation, and you would have been blasted to smithereens, and it just wouldn't have been a good time. But I think this is a worthwhile trade for sure, I guess, like overall, because like I said, if he retreats over here, he gets double blasted, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not in position to counter the attack. So Red James is going to have to think of something crafty here for what he's going to do with this tank, because there's not really too many spots where it can go. Probably best option would actually be maybe bring infantry here and then hide it behind the infantry wall. That might be what happens. Yeah. Okay, so we don't hide it behind an infantry wall, but we open it up for only one tank strike, and we build a tank to defend it. So that's probably good. That's good. I like that. That's a nice move. Nice move, Red. Beautiful stuff. Okay, so AdvanceNoob captures the comm tower and acquires his second last property. Going for his final property here. Might be able to get it. I don't really see anything that's actively in the position to interrupt minus the tank, but I mean, if you put tank right here, like I said, you're just in that situation where you lose a tank because you have a double strike, and he could just forego the capture and strike with a 9 HP and then strike with a full HP, and the full HP just won't take any damage, and then I mean, you're out of tank. So I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a great idea. Do that. Brings the tank over here, though, to contend with this side. It would have been nice to maybe... I mean, this is kind of just a nitpicky thing, but, like, I think like, this infantry goes right here, right? It probably would have been better to put the tank here, so that if he did go up and do the attack, the tank could actually still hit it over here. But if he goes up and does that attack, I mean, you have this tank, it's 7 HP, it's going to still do damage, so... I mean, overall, it's probably fine, but... I mean, these tanks can't really push in because of the battlecopter. I mean, the battlecopter is only going to be able to attack one thing, obviously, but if Red James wants to, it wouldn't actually be that bad of an idea to, like, go up and do a couple attacks over here, like get a tank strike, maybe an infantry clear, and bring, like, the other tank in, maybe? I don't know, maybe we'll see. Because once he brings anti-air in, the battlecopter is not going to be able to attack back. Otherwise, the battlecopter just straight up loses. So, like, yeah, you could easily attack this square. This tank can't really move in. Like, if you move the tank right there and infantry right here, then you would clear an infantry. And then if this guy does move and attack, then you have, like, anti-air to clear afterwards. Curious. Very curious to see what's going to go on there. Oh, see? Beautiful. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, you lose an infantry in the engagement, but you also clear an infantry, so it's an even trade. And if he does go in and attack, I mean, he just loses battlecopter. So battlecopter would probably more swing towards the middle is my guess afterwards. Yeah, because he's gonna leave it right here, and I don't think he might swing the tank like over here, but I don't think so. He might just keep it here, but if he keeps it here, he could potentially. No, he can't do that because there's a battlecopter. Yeah, I don't know. He probably will just keep the tank there, to be completely honest. Yeah, exactly. Just keep the tank there. Like, it's perfect position. In all reality, I mean, you can go up and do a tank strike. That's going to be a 7-7 trade. You can do this, but then anti-air clears, and then your tank is still, like, way more healthy than this tank, right? I mean, well, maybe not, obviously, because it would be double attacked. So, I mean, it would be down to, like, 5, but it would, no, like, 4. Maybe 3 healed up to 5. Something like that. I mean, it would still be a positive trade for you at the end of the day. AdvanceNoob does clear the infantry right here, so very, very well done. And shifting the units over, clearing the infantry that pushed up there. And this is like an interesting thing too. So you don't really think about these little micro things, right? But by doing this attack, Red James earlier, I mean, he does clear an infantry. And the infantry does die, but it does do 2 damage to another infantry. So overall, you have like a 20% gain on your opponent from doing an attack like that, because his infantry got injured, destroying your infantry at the end of the day. So technically, that's a net positive for the Red James there. 20% extra damage. And we got lots of injured infantry over here too, but Red James has this infantry right here, and he's not doing too hot right now. But he's feeling a lot better about himself after that move. That's for sure. Excellent placement from AdvanceNoob for the copter as well. So that copter is not going to be able to reach the other copter yet. Oh. So this is interesting. This is interesting indeed. The classic wall of this map. This is honestly what you see a lot of the time in Von Bolt games on this map, is just a wall of infantry and like a tank like in the middle of the wall somewhere. That's classic. I think we have a clear here though. I'm not sure if it's really worth it to go in for it, but we do have a clear. I mean, infantry. well, I mean, 2 infantry would clear this. You could bring this guy back. So 2 infantry clear that, 1 infantry clear this. And then you get the copter, but it's kind of risky with this guy. You would have to go in with copter to avoid the anti-air, which is, I mean, copter's not going to clear another copter though, and then you're just going to lose your copter potentially, and you might leave your anti-air exposed. So I don't know, very curious to see what AdvanceNoob's choice here is. So yeah, we don't even have to move it because we clear. So it looks like we are going to be going for that copter. Yeah, we're going in with the anti-air. Okay, cool. Anti-air clear of the copter. I mean, we do lose anti-air. Maybe we don't lose anti-air. I mean, we definitely do lose anti-air, because if battlecopter goes in and attacks this, and we still have a clear on the anti-air, and we have an attack on the battlecopter, which would be fairly nasty. Playing it smart, playing it safe, playing it smart, playing it conservative. Very nicely done, AdvanceNoob. So bringing this guy down, we don't want to lose our battlecopter over here. I mean, we go in and we take the attack, and it's like it's a negative, unfortunately. I mean, we can't, unless we get a double hit and actually take out the tank. You know, it's not really worth it. So we do lose the anti-air, but we built another anti-air in response to that, though. So I think that's a pretty good trade in general. I mean, a battlecopter is 9k, anti-air is 8k, so I mean, he's up 1k from that attack. That's a pretty, that's like, okay, that's a safe attack, but I don't think AdvanceNoob would want to take this. He might. But Red James is looking like pretty good over here. Yeah, he's looking okay. He's looking pretty good. I'd say his position is pretty strong here. AdvanceNoob has like a lot of units around though, so he's definitely going to be able to pull off some sort of shenanigans here for sure. Doesn't go in with the double infantry to clear out the copter though, so that's unfortunate. But I mean, double infantry clearing out the copter, like I said. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry clear 2 infantry, and then you have another one just willy-nilly doing whatever it wants to do. So, not advisable. We do lose this battlecopter, though, which is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed, but AdvanceNoob is in a very nice position at the moment. So, Red James will have 1, 2, 3, 4 tanks. AdvanceNoob have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks, and then I'm just gonna say these tanks cancel each other out because they're not quite healed yet. But like overall, I think the position is looking pretty strong. Red James pushing in a little bit, but not like a lot. So this is one thing that I think is really important when it comes to Von Boltmeers, is you don't just really want to sit there willy-nilly just staring at your opponent for an extremely long period of time. What you really want to do is you want to be taking these little micro engagements, right? So you give a unit and you take a unit, and you give a unit and you take a unit. But what you're going to be doing there is you're sort of eliminating the wall, right? So it's very hard to wall break Von Bolt, but if you continue to do damage to the infantries, then it just increases your chances to do a wall break later on. So I think that's a pretty good idea. Okay, so AdvanceNoob has had enough of the stalemate game. He's had enough of the stalemate shenanigans, and he is going. He is going in hard. This is very spooky, though. Like, very spooky. How much power do we need? We need, like, what is that? Like, 24,000? I don't know. No, we can't get 24,000 in one turn with what we have here. So we're not going to be seeing an Ex Machina this turn, but it's going to be We're probably going to be seeing an Ex Machina next turn, like guaranteed. AdvanceNoob is going to pop his Ex Machina first too, which is going to be wild. Like, he's going to have Copter Strike here. But the issue is he might get hit by his own Ex Machina if he's not careful. Where's the Ex Machina gonna hit? Gotta see. Oh, that's painful. That's painful. That is super painful. Oh god, that's two tanks and a copter taken out of the equation like right away. Oh boy. Yeah, that's a rough one. That is a rough one. I'm surprised. Okay, he does go in for the attack. I was gonna say I was surprised that he wasn't going for this tank here. Wow, that's a nice juicy little attack right there. It's likely the Ex Machina will probably hit right here. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. If it does hit here, that's huge. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, so I mean, we lost these units over here to the Ex Machina, but he just lost his push up here. It's not super bad though, because AdvanceNoob has 3 units right here in the background to come up and fight afterwards. And Red James doesn't really have like a whole lot to fight with. He's got 2 tanks, maybe 3. This one can only hit nothing, actually. It can't hit anything at the moment. Okay, let's see what he manages to do with his Ex Machina here. Going for a property capture, getting a heal. Bringing the infantry down. Going for a little engagement. Okay, that's not too bad. This is a really nice thing to do when you have an Ex Machina work out in your favor too, is like not really worrying about attacking the units that are injured. I mean, obviously do damage to them and take shots where you can that are going to be very valuable, but they're also the perfect shield because your opponent can't occupy those tiles when they're already occupied. So it's kind of like really nice. Okay, AdvanceNoob pushing up. Got a nice hefty missile target right here. Unfortunately, we got no Ex Machina left over, so not going to be able to capitalize on it, but Red James is definitely going to capitalize on these infantry being pushed up here and take out quite a few of them. Taking out another 2 units. Oh, and we get the infantry clear on the 1 HP tank. Continuing a cap on one of the properties. Doesn't get the clear on the anti-air with the tank. Let's look at that one more time. The shame, the pure shame from this tank here. It's not feeling too hot. This guy didn't clear either, but that's fine. Alright. Alright, we get the clear. Beautiful. And we are just gonna make a line and sit pretty. Yeah, that's looking nice. That's looking strong from Mr. James. Mr. James looking pretty good over here, but AdvanceNoob, you know, he's a very, very crafty player, and he's very highly rated, so you never know. He might be able to come back from a position like this. I mean, he clears the infantry that was capping his property, so there's not going to be any income disparity. And we are pulling back over here with the triple attack up here. So, nice. Nice. Not too shabby at all. Red James could, like... He's got the option of just, like, going straight in here, but 4 tanks versus 4 tanks that are injured. Copters might be able to be okay, but double anti-air, that's an issue for sure. And this side's not looking super hot for Red James. I mean, he took a lot of damage over here. And he's got to deal with 2 fresh tanks and a 7 HP tank, which kind of out tiers both of his tanks right here. So I think he's going to have to be pulling back over on the left side, or he just continues the assault and ignores all calls for peace and just rocks it. There we go. Holy moly, what a guy. What a guy. Doesn't retreat, just goes balls to the wall over here. Just does not care. Full Send City. He's committed to the attack, so he's gonna go and attack. He's going to Full Send City, and he's got his ticket, one-way ticket, and he's gonna get it done. Now, AdvanceNoob, once again, does a nice counterattack here. Multiple units in the front line. Artillery is actually pretty exposed, though. But once again, we're getting really, really close to this Ex Machina territory, and it's getting pretty flippin' dangerous. Pretty flippin' dangerous indeed. He might not go for any attacks. Okay. Yeah, he's going to pull back. He's going to pull back. We don't want to fight to that. He does have an opportunity to go up and attack this. But anything, like, it's definitely a losing attack to go in for that. Because you use a unit here, you use a tank here, and you use another tank here. You don't clear this unit, and then everything that just went for that attack gets cleared and gets destroyed. So yeah, definitely not worth it. Alright, so his ticket to Full Send City has been revoked. And he's going back home temporarily. He forgot something at home. You know, he forgot like his phone charger. So he's got to go home and get his phone charger. And he's going to catch a later flight. Later ticket. That's what's going to happen. At least that's what I hope is going to happen. He's doing pretty good on the unit count at the moment. AdvanceNoob. The values are basically the same. I wouldn't really say that one player has like a better value at the moment. Well, obviously Red James does because he has more units, but he's also got more tanks. I think AdvanceNoob is going to be able to buy 3 tanks this turn, though, and I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. No, so tank, copter, double infantry. So getting the unit count up. Yeah, okay. Both players are on increment again, by the way, so gotta be keeping that in mind. They're moving a lot of units very, very quickly. They're making the best possible choices given the amount of time that they have. And Red James, his best possible move that he has is creating this abomination of a blob. This Uzium looking blob of Von Bolt over here. That's what he's got going on right there. Then AdvanceNoob counters with his own Uzium looking blob, which kind of has a elongated arm reaching out to the side, trying to grab at this infantry here. Poor guy. He doesn't deserve that. Nobody wants to be grabbed by an Uzium. It just sounds terrible. Okay. So, the Uzium blob has slightly shifted a little bit. But that's it. Yeah. Classic this map. Stalemate. The Von Bolt stalemate of Unlearn How to Fly, folks. That's what it's all about. So these guys just keep shifting their units around. I do believe that, okay, yeah, I was going to say, I think there's going to be an attack coming in here pretty soon. And yeah, there he is. There he is. There's the attack. There it goes. We got a double hit. We got artillery in position. And we got everything surrounding this capture. But it's not going to work because he's got an artillery. So, I mean, that is going to... Well, I mean, the artillery could have interrupted, but he didn't. He ended up attacking this tank instead, which is also very valid. The tank wall has been created. So earlier in the game, we had a big line, a big wall of infantry and 1 tank. Now we have a big wall of tanks with 2 infantry on the end. So, oh, how the tables have turned here today. What a lovely, lovely thing. Alright, artillery doing damage to the infantry, and we go up and we clear several tanks. We clear 2 tanks there, and we actually end up doing a play here with the infantry so that we clear, or we don't clear the infantry, but it goes down to 1. Okay, so that's fine. We hit the artillery, And then we are first striking. Oh my god, we are first striking the tanks, and we get the Ex Machina. It's gonna hit right in the flipping metal. Did you guys see it? What a beautiful attack. Holy moly. Like, let's just look at this again. This is great. This is fantastic. So at the beginning of this turn, Red James needs like 22,000, no, even more. Like almost 30,000. So let's just say 30,000. So he needs like 30,000 value of attacks. Like the sequence here for value, just look at the power just creeping up. Just creeping up. Just creeping up. And then he gets it. Pops the Ex Machina. And it was fantastic because it literally hits the one section of units that we didn't attack. So that's marvelous. It's a work of art, honestly, to be completely honest. It's great. Alright, so AdvanceNoob has the Ex Machina. I don't know why. Oh yeah, you know what? You know what it is? Okay. So there's definitely a reason for why he's attacking this way. It's because the Ex Machina is probably pointing at this section right here. So he probably planned it, and he saw that the Ex Machina was going to hit here. And he didn't want it to hit there, right? He didn't want it to hit there. So he does a little bit of damage, and then the Ex Machina hits right here. So this capture is not going to go through. Like, it was so close to going through, and it's just not going to go through. At least not this turn. Yeah, not this turn, buddy. Sorry, pal, but that city belongs to AdvanceNoob. That is AdvanceNoob territory. But this one is Red James territory. So he did manage to grab that one. Very nice steal on that property. Actually brings him ahead overall here. So very cool stuff. Get a snipe on the old artillery down here. So that was super nice. Super nice little attack right there. Look for a little break on the corner here. I think we're going to be seeing a tank strike come up here. Definitely be seeing a tank strike. Yeah, there he is. Joining the infantry again in attempts to get this property. I think this one's sitting at, oh, it's sitting at 10. So, yeah, it has to go through. It can't be interrupted. But that's great, because that's putting a lot of pressure on AdvanceNoob at the moment. Like, he's going to have to go up and interrupt that. Otherwise, he gets even further behind. That costs 2 units at that little moment right there, so. Yeah, okay. That's all right. All right, we did a nice little push. We got an anti-air clear here, though. And Battlecopter moves in. We have anti-air though, so it's not like too bad overall, I don't think. Like I said though, the values are still like fairly even. And actually, oh, why didn't we get the clear? Oh man. Oh man. The little penguin didn't do it. This is honestly like the worst thing when you're fighting against Von Bolt, is that you just can't clear anything. It is so difficult to clear Von Bolt units that he just has a whole bunch of like 1 HP units running around just being super annoying. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating, folks. That's what it is. Oh, and he goes and join caps again with only 2. With 2 left. Okay, maybe that property is going to belong to the Red James very, very soon. Are we attacking the pipe seam? Oh my god. Beautiful. I completely missed this. So, actually, it looks like the artillery has been attacking this pipe seam for quite some time. And this infantry is actually going in. This guy's only sitting at 2. Sitting at 2. That's lovely. AdvanceNoob has not attacked this pipe seam at all, too. So Red James just been focusing this guy. Beautiful. Now, okay, the other thing is, like, if Red James buys an anti-air now, too, and gets the anti-air over here, then he can lock this, like, super easily. We didn't move a lot of units. Resign. Okay, that's fair. You know what? I believe that I actually did read in the comments of this game that AdvanceNoob was just asking him to end his turn so he can resign. Totally justified at this moment, though, too. Because, like, look at this, right? So he goes, or not this turn, but Red James goes in, he caps a property. And, like, what does he end with here? No, go back. So he's still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's got lots of attacks. Yeah, this one's over, unfortunately. So congratulations to the Red James on the win. That was a fantastic game. I mean, Von Bolt mirrors are obviously like a super slog, and nobody really wants to play them. But if you have to play them, you got to play it very, very tactically, just like the Red James did. And AdvanceNoob, heck of a player as well, played it like amazingly. Just honestly, it really just came down to just a couple like chips here and there, and then just the Ex Machina usage. I mean, like, honestly, like, what was it? It was this attack. This attack right here, where the Red James just rushed in and got this clutch Ex Machina right here. Like, that was definitely play of the game, and definitely finally sealed the deal. So congratulations. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that one. I know I definitely had a good time watching that. And if you did enjoy it, consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.